Hello everyone, it's me Clayton. I just finished watching Aquaman 2, The Lost Kingdom. This is the final DC film of the DCEU, and while the first Aquaman film was generally a mix between goofy and genuinely epic, this one does certainly feel like a live action cartoon. Which I suppose is a fitting end for the DCEU, but I can't help but enjoy some of it regardless. Let's get to the story, though. The story follows Arthur Curry, played once again by Jason Momoa, who, alongside his wife Queen Mara, played by Amber Heard, they have a son. And uh, as Arthur Curry happens to be basically trying to go through the motions of being the king of Atlantis, going through politics, and all that stuff, the Black Manta from the last film has been trying to basically t- take revenge on Aquaman for killing his father in the last movie. So he happens to not only discover a hidden kingdom that was lost to the Atlanteans, but he also discovers a black trident that takes over his mind. It basically forces him to act on the whims of a king of a necropolis, and he abducts a scientist played by Randall Park in order to help him take out the Atlanteans, steal this substance called orichalcum, and to try and raise all that Aquaman loves to the ground in order to get his revenge. So that's all I'll say about the story. The story here does feel like it ups the stakes a bit, giving Black Manta more of a major antagonist role as opposed to the role he had in the first film. And there is a bit of a buddy comedy bit with King Orm, played by Patrick Wilson, and Aquaman throughout the film that's genuinely pretty entertaining. But it does feel that the performance here by Jason Momoa does have diminishing returns. There's a lot of crude humor on his part, a lot of pop culture references, references to his physique, etc., etc. I like Jason Momoa as Aquaman, but it does feel like this movie's going through the motions despite being the last film of the DCEU. Not that it was originally planned to be that way. It just feels like for a film that could have been a last gasp for air for the DCEU, it just sort of plays it safe through most of it. Everywhere from the opening moments to the final battle feel pretty by the numbers, not just for Aquaman, but for the DCEU as a whole. And I'll definitely take that over something that's almost incomprehensible like the Marvels, but at the same time, it does feel like the movie doesn't really risk anything. And yes, Amber Heard does appear quite a bit as Mara, but I don't have a problem with her performance, and I'll keep my opinions about her as a person out of this. The new stuff that is brought in, like the Necropolis and this evil king who was apparently the brother to the previous king of Atlantis, they don't do much with him. In fact, the way he's taken out makes me think he must have been a much less intimidating foe back in the day than he was built up to be. It really feels underwhelming when it comes to the final battle. But I will say the world that underwater is pretty nice, even with some of the CGI effects. James Wan certainly knows how to direct spectacle, and I even liked Randall Park's character. He was a genuinely good comic relief, and I think he brought in some of the funniest moments and also some of the more engaging moments of the film. Even if it does feel like the film was edited and reshot quite a bit too. That seems to be a problem with a lot of DCEU films, though, in general, so it's not an isolated incident. I didn't hate this film, but at the same time, it does feel like a weird way to close out the DCEU. But a weird way to do things is kind of on brand for them, so I'll just give this a 6.5. See you next time.